Hello everyone, this is Brad. We're going to take another look at Exanima. I was advised to come back here for a door that I missed. In the infirmary, I found a book that talked about people undergoing treatment often for grievous wounds. Many of the injuries appear to be bites and lacerations, possibly from an animal, which makes me wonder what's doing it unless it was Sir. It would make sense for it to be Sir, because he's the only thing that I have found in this dungeon that I can think of that would cause bites and lacerations. But I wanted more of a timeline for this place, because, like Zam Ranger pointed out to me, this place is clearly a colony of some kind. But at some point this happened, because human beings don't normally look like this. Whatever caused this, I think it might have been that the necromancer whose notes you find later on, but I'll find more details, hopefully, to point to that. I've also been given a link to read all the lore, but I'm going to try to make my own conclusion before I do that and see how accurate I am after I have all the lore, when I read all the lore. But so this place seemed to be some kind. So far, what I think is this place used to be some kind of colony, where the first few levels were where the common people lived, and 4 and 5 are where more of their hierarchy lived, with the Golem Guardians. And something happened that caused this. At that point, I think that's probably when the disappearances mentioned in some of the letters we find started. My question is, that letter that was written, it was written to a cousin that was either wealthy, or was it Proctor? Was it from here, or was it acquired by here? If it was from here, that implies that there are people going missing here. If it's not from here, I think that would imply that the people here are or were kidnapping people from other places. But if they sent a and again, I'm still not sure, because I'll need to read the lore again or find it in the dungeon. Is this where the Proctor was sent to start his investigation, i.e. where the disappearances were happening, where they were disappearing from? Or was that Proctor on the lower levels sent here, to investigate it because that's where they believed they were being taken? I'm unclear on that. Oh yeah, this is that torture chamber. I found it off camera. I believe a commenter told me that I missed this door. I'm not sure which one right off. But I'll check. But yeah, there's like a torture hall down here, which implies to me that these aren't nice. As I recall, there's a torture hall down here, which makes me think these people weren't nice people even when they were, normal. Which makes me think this is where people are disappearing to, not from. Since I've been missing details in the cells, let's actually look. Well, that didn't help. There's some kind of irons. Oh, and if any of you are wondering, for all like 4 or 5 of you that watched, I haven't done a Sunless Sea video in a minute because I died right off camera. Like in the last video where I was like, hey, I'm going to go back to London and then start a new... I died as soon as I got off camera. And Crispy wants to do one where she's driving and I help her a little bit. But we'll do that once her tongue heals, because it'll be hard for her to read. Yeah, this place, it looks to me like, a massive dungeon. I think these just open the cells. There's a lever over here. Does that affect the cell? No. What does that do, I wonder? Isn't there one on each side? Let's make sure they are all in the up position. Does that affect the cells? No. I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't look like... There you go. Don't get caught in the cell. This doesn't look like a fun place. You know, there are meat cleavers and bones. Can I use that as a weapon? No. You know, it looks to me like a place where you spread some poor fool eagle and then just do whatever weird experimentation they do to him. Jesus, that would be terrifying. You're over here strapped to a table and he's over here sharpening his butcher knife. I like the grind wheel in the corner. It's a nice touch. A fireplace. Implies to me he spends a lot of time here if he's, you know, I don't know if I can pick it up. If he's like cooking food or maybe heating water. Either way, somebody's eating or bathing here, unless boiling water is required for their experiments, which it may well be. Yeah, some people have been having a bad day. I mean, somebody's pelvis, I believe, is what that is. Yeah, I think so. Was laying on this table. Well, I won't do that because I don't have any shoes. If I do that here, you can have a bedpan in trade for all that stuff. And another key. I don't remember all this stuff the last time I come through, but I'll probably come through a lot quicker. I'll say, I want that xenomorph skull. Tell me I didn't want it to look like, Christy.
Yeah, that does.
All right. Let's see. Is that everything to find? Yeah, they have cages for transport here. I kind of want to know where you enter from the surface. But I've also had people tell me that this is supposed to be the underworld of this place. If that's the case, entering from the surface might be a little more archaic than just, you know, walking down some stairs. Am I going backwards? I'm not sure. I think I am. Oh, and earlier apparently I missed a dog skeleton. I don't know if I've talked about this yet. A commenter told me that I had missed a dog skeleton, and I looked at my previous video, and it does look like a dog skeleton. So I think it's too small to be a horse. And how terrifying it would be to fight. How would you hit it? I think if you were going to fight something like that, they would have to adjust your swings. Like, his swings are actually kind of low as it is at times, but basically I would angle them down more, kind of like he's coming down in a V. And, that one obviously will do it. And you have the thrust, which can be kind of downward anyway. You just have it come down. They would have to assume that your character, I would like to assume your character wouldn't just swing over it, but and be like, duh, why can't I hit it? I hope that wouldn't be the case. This game has very intelligent design, so I feel like that it would probably do that, or something similar. Alright, nothing there. Looks to me like there might be. Dang it. Okay, this looks like some kind of autopsy room, maybe? Forgotten by Aim Corin, a scholarly book about memory and cognizance, what we forget and why we forget it, how we choose to make a history for ourselves regardless of the facts, and how we are defined by the wholly unreliable subjective thing we call memory. After I read that in the first playthrough, it got me thinking. Like, really, when you think about it, everything in your past is defined by your memory and possibly how you misremember an event. You know what I'm saying? You may remember something completely incorrectly and it have an effect on your life. I can't think of a good example off the top of my head, but, like, just everybody, think about something that happened in your life that had some kind of positive or negative effect on you majorly. Like the first thing that pops into your head. Now, I mean, I'm sure you don't, or most likely don't, because, the bigger the thing, I feel like the harder it is to misremember it. But just imagine for a moment if the way you remember it is not the way it happened. It's kind of a scary thought. And psychology has always interested me, the science of the mind. So far, results are disappointing. I suppose I should have expected as much after the initial dramatic progress. I am seeing some improvement, but I feel as though I need a change in direction to really go further. If only poor Poppin was still with me, exchanging thoughts with him would benefit me greatly. There was a bloody book over here. I've done that more in this playthrough than the last one. Binding of the Dead by Linus Fendrick. The pages of the book are stuck together and ruined by copious amounts of blood. So, you should read the book about binding the dead before you start cutting them open. Not during the process. Just a thought. He's following it like a step-by-step instruction, like a manual. It's like, okay, what do I do now? What do I do now? Beakers and bottles and baskets and... We'll make sure somebody doesn't try to kill me before, yeah, there's more than just that room, so... I'll close this, read this book. The Forgotten Power by Anonymous. According to this book, humans are powerful and mortal beings that have forgotten their true nature, that by living your life by a certain moral code, performing certain rituals, and eating a certain diet, you can achieve great power and ultimately unlock your dormant immortality. Okay. Does it tell me the diet and the moral code? Like, it's like, you can do these things. Well, how do I do them? And how do you know I can do them if you don't know how to do them? Probably isn't an easy thing to pull off either. You probably have to live like a paladin. Life of Linus Fendrick by Anonymous. Linus Fendrick was the one that had the book, wrote the book about binding dead, I believe. A famous book with an even more famous story surrounding it, often told by mothers to their young children, a cautionary tale on the dark and sinister trappings of thaumaturgy. Fendrick was a gifted thaumaturge who lost his young wife and 3 children in some gruesome accident. He was thus driven to necromancy in the hope of resurrecting them. Not the traditional crude raising of the dead, but with full sentience and cognizance. His practices and experiments were most vile in nature: kidnappings, torture, murder, keeping his family's bodies in a state between life and death for some 40 years. His crimes were plentiful and led to nothing save failure and despair. Sounds a lot like what's going on here. I feel a growing resentment for Thaven. On the one hand, I wish to please him, to impress him, but such thoughts then lead me to anger. I once believed there was friendship between us. Now I think perhaps it was based on naught but common interests. His disregard for all things other than his single-minded purpose has hurt us. It has put us all in difficulty and danger. I was always feared, but I was also respected. To be driven from my own home by peasants. Yeah, it sounds like they were doing some kind of bad work and got caught and were driven here. And then maybe started subjugating the people here, or they had already been done the way they are, maybe by these people. It's really hard to say at this point, I think. Back out the way I came. I will take your gambeson, sir. But you can keep your pants. I take his undershirt off, but I leave his top shirt on. That takes skill. Really? That's all you got? Come here. Where are you going now? Okay. Haman has obviously cast aside our agreement. He's sending far too many people down here, and I've lost all contact with him. What is he trying to do? One of these wretches confessed that he was told to seek treasure. Someone will notice all these missing people. And what if one finds me while I sleep? I no longer feel safe here. I've locked the doors, but I should venture further and look for something more secure. Sorry, frog in my throat. Always is when I start. So he's sending people down here. He's telling them to seek treasure. Someone's going to notice them missing, but they're not. Maybe they're not kidnapping everyone. Maybe they're they're sending adventurers to their doom for whatever reason. But what would be the point of that? Unless to make more zombies. That's plausible, I suppose. I'm just saying if I've missed anything in the room. So I feel like a room this size should have hallways off of it. Okay. And I have a key that I have no idea what it goes to. I believe this leads to level 2. Which I will do a little more exploration up here before I go down to level 2. Apparently there's a strong box I need to pick up too that I've missed and I'm not sure where it is. That was a long ass dark hallway. Yeah, this is back here. What is the point of coming back here? I mean, I know the tunnel's not placed for me specifically, but yeah, I have no reason to come here. Okay, guys, I think that is going to be all the time we have for today. I'm going to do a little bit of exploration off camera, so we don't spend some time watching me run around aimlessly. If I find anything, I will let you know. That'll be where I start recording. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Dislike if you don't like what I'm doing. Please comment. We love all of your feedback. Right, Crispy?
Mm-hmm.
And have a good rest of your day.